and said, if you don't want to say leave, the people left. Because he thought what his oga was doing was a shout. So he went back and shouted. He said, look at this small boy. Now because they make it because they'll come and shout on top. You don't get fear. I knock you. Come down from that pulpit first. Look at this small boy. And people will forget you are young when there is a rod. They will stop seeing me in the natural. The scripture said, henceforth, know me no man. We have to trace the spiritual entity that is standing before us. Because the day John the Baptist walked, many of them are calling him the son of Zachariah. Huh? It was Jesus that came and gave us the actual identity of John in the spirit. He said, this is Elijah. Elijah is the one walking. Elijah. And that is why he have the capacity to, he will look at Herod and say, you took somebody's wife. It's only Elijah that have that capacity. So anytime we see people begin to speak to power fearlessly, and they can stand and slaughter the altars and prophets of Baal, even if his name is give me an evil name. Real evil name. Huh? I need conk evil name. I mean, if his name is Obona, even if your name is Obos, huh? That is what your village and your father called you. Huh? A man have to arise and identify you in the spirit and say, Elijah is here again. It's only your village calling you a boss. I finished breakfast one day. I was going as I was navigating towards my house. Somebody called me, Shedu! I said, hey. The only people calling me Shedu is in primary school. I said, are they here? So for my primary school schoolmates, it's Shedu. But we need to go to heaven to find out who the man is. And then we interpret his destiny and function based on who he is in heaven. That is your real identity. Huh? If I ask you what's your name and you say, Kosiso, find your name. Find your name. I remember those days, my father told us that his name in this. I didn't know what he meant those days when he said this. He said his name in the spirit is Jeremiah. What is your name? You will tell me Dennis. What is Dennis? That's why you are like this now. You may ask in the city most like, what they say I'm Dennis? They say, who is Dennis? They check their evil angels, they check their rooster. There is no Dennis here. Huh? There is no Dennis here. When they were asking John who he was, they were not calling common names. They were calling names that captured dimensions in God. Meaning that what they were looking for is not a nomenclature. They were looking for functions captured in men, trapped in men. As you are, when you appeared, and from what we are seeing in your life, it must be, there are functions in your life, and for this function to be manifest in your life, it must mean that you have been able to track again a dimension of God that has walked this path. Are you with me? Oh? So they asked him, are you Jeremiah? They even asked Jesus, every prophet, a mighty man that rose, they will praise you because you can't be the first. God is not doing any new thing. Huh? Are you Charles Philip or are you Smith Wigglesworth? Who are you? So you know the kind of price you need to pay. If you are Smith Wigglesworth, you can't be reading Punch. You can't be reading Vanguard. Smith said you only read the Bible for 40 years. And he said you are Smith. That's why your faith is weak. The man fed himself with the word of God only. He doesn't read any news. So the only thing he knows to believe is the word. If they say Corona, he didn't read the news about Corona. The one he read, the last time he heard the news, it was in the Bible, and he said, he has taken away your infirmities and he has nailed it up. That was the last news he heard. You read news about Corona, and they said 7 people died, 200 people, 5,000 died in India. If he speaks, if he enters India, he didn't read the news, and he will not read the news until he leaves. He will be walking among the people. Who are you? It will determine the price. That's like everybody is there. If I tell some people to pray, they will be looking at me. They don't know. But who are you? Who are you, sister? Are you Esther? You must learn the art of 3 days fasting. Are you Esther? Some people took Esther and they are more than didn't give the message. They like the sound of Esther. If you know I'm talking to you, then I'm talking to you. The name Esther is equal to 3 days drive. Sometimes 3 days drive.
3 days drive.
The name Elijah is equal to 40 days. I'm not the one that said it is in your Bible now. Is in your own Bible. Is it not in your Bible?
Somebody will die you. 40 days.
So it's obvious we are not willing to live up to our names in the spirit. That's why our identity is obscure to Satan. And there is a man that God has ordained that a generation we respect, a generation we rally around, and that man has not appeared yet. Also, what is your name? That is the one who is waiting for. That's the one who. So if I arise and they trace my name in the spirit and they know that I came by the name than God, that's why sometimes I come to meetings. I will utter some decrees. I will say I come to the gates that answer to our names. That means, well, if you like person suppose get name. Trust God. What is your name? There is nothing like trust God. Hey. You know you used to be promised and guy man. We have noticed you are a watcher, but when I said it, how many of you know that time you came out? Did he look like it? No. The man have changed because the energy and resources to enter into your destiny will not come until you find out who you are really in the spirit. So there are many watchers that have not. God has ordained them watchers. The scripture said, "I've set watchmen in your wall." But because they have not found out who they are in the spirit, their function is lacking. Because they have not been able to enter into the energy, the resources, the power that backs up their ministry, because they have not stood in their place in the spirit. And lack of standing is as a result of lack of identification. Have you identified yourself? If I ask you, say you are Amaka. What is Amaka? How does your destiny relate with Amaka? What's your name? Ebube. Anthony. Anthony looks like your parents or grandparents are Catholics. Are they Catholics? So they name you after one of the saints. But what, your life don't go like that too. Now so your life go. Huh? Who are you? What is your name? When you walk in the reality of the identity, no, people will begin to liken you to different, so certain kind of men. Why didn't they say that Jesus is David? Even though he is David, why didn't they say he is Daniel? He is Saul. How can Jesus be Saul? Even John the Baptist. They saw a man that likes the wilderness only. Honey and locust. Camel's hair as garments. The last time we saw this, it was Elijah. But you like the city and the good life. Okay? Your name is not Elijah. Go and find your name. Elijah. Is the name his parents gave him. The real Elijah is in the spirit. And your name can be bright. Okay, you don't know your name. It's possible if we enter the spirit. Are you with me? Like if I ask this man now, he will say, I'm Victor, I'm Jesus, I'm Victor. Meanwhile, the man that is in the spirit can be Philip, the evangelist Philip. Huh? When they do lockdown, he will just enter his aircraft in the spirit and arrive Samaria. And do wonders, finish, he will go back. In the evening, he's back. They will tell him you have a meeting in Congo. Huh? We have organized flights. They say flight is not moving. COVID shut it. They say, don't worry, don't be planning. I will come in the evening. Hey! I will come in the evening.
I'll come.
Preaching starts by 5. By 4:55, he enters his aircraft. And in 1 minute, he arrives and walks up to the stage. He says, Jesus sent me to Congo. If you are sick, all of you bring your wheelchair to the front. You are free, go. All this, God, heal him. You must heal him. Don't be so that they heal people. That wokakaka is in the secret. When you appear in the open, the God you know in the secret will reward you in the open. What we receive in the open is reward. Open is not where we labor in the secret. And then our reward comes in the open. Huh? When you come like this, all you need to do is to cast your shadow. Once your shadow comes on men, do you believe your shadow can come on somebody and your power will come on that person? Huh? Why do you believe? Is it because of the Bible? It can happen even now. A man's shadow can be soaked with the essence of God. That means that kind of man walking on the streets is not alone. He's sanctifying the whole street. Huh? When you walk with that consciousness, by 7 to 8 or 6 to 8 in the night, you walk through your streets. When he comes and sanctify the whole street, witches will not operate that night. When they fly, they will fall. Their engine will be knocking. They will experience too much damage. They will rest that night. They will find out what is wrong. What happened? A man casts his shadow. Your shadow. You don't know what you are carrying. That's what I'm saying. Your shadow. Wake up one day, close up that thing that is in the heart of your soul. You have both spiritual, legal, fatherly authority over